In today's video, I want to share with you 5 books that will help you on your journey with the Divine Feminine. Now, books contain a lot of head knowledge and they don't mean much unless you apply it, all right? And the path of the Divine Feminine is definitely an embodied path. It's a way of being. So books can be very good teachers if we do the work, if we use the practices and the rituals and the information in these books to create transformation in our own lives. Now, what I like about these books is that they are very good teachers, and there's a lot of shadow work in here. There are practices that really gets you closer to the truth of yourself. And ultimately, what these books will help you with is they will help you to live a more feminine way of being. And I almost don't want to say it like that, but what they will do is they will show you how you can shift from being mostly in your masculine energy into a way of being where you are coming from both your masculine and your feminine energy in the times when you need them. So it's really about creating that union within yourself. My name is Tertia, and on this channel I talk about all things feminine spirituality and self-growth. And if that calls to your soul, then I invite you to subscribe and join our community. Now, before I talk about these books, I wanted to let you know that my program, Elevate Embodying Your Authentic Self, starts in October. It's a deeply transformational program. It runs for 7 weeks and it is going to be live. Replays will be available for people who join us for the duration of the program. So if you sign up for the program, you will be able to get the replays. It is a program that we will do some shadow work in. We're going to do some inner child healing. We'll work with Goddess Wisdom. And it really is a container for you to embody your authentic self and to really get to know yourself better and start to live in alignment with your own personal truth. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, if you want to join us, or even if you just want to find out about it, there's a link down in the description below, and if you complete the application form, then I'll get in touch with you. Alrighty, now onto the books. So the first book that I have is called The Way of the Happy Woman by Sarah Avent Stower. So this is a very practical book. It's beautifully written, and it is a journey of how we can slow down and practice self-care. We live in a world where hustle is glorified and we're busy all the time, and there's always something else that is expected of us, and we don't really take the time to slow down and reflect simply because we feel that we don't have time for that. So what I love about this book is that it's divided into the 4 seasons of the year, and for each season there are rituals and recipes and yoga practices that you can do to support you in that part of the yearly cycle. So if you are curious or interested in learning about how you can slow down, practice self-care and align yourself with the cycles of nature, then this is a very good book to put you on the path. What I like about books like these is I enjoy the information that it gives me. I like the step-by-step process of how to do certain things, because once I have integrated that, once I understand that in my own context, then I'm always able to build a new habit or a new lifestyle or a new way of being that suits me. The next book is Warrior Goddess Training by Heather Ash Amara, and this is a wonderful book for self-exploration. What I enjoyed about this book is how I could compare and see myself and my life story in many of the stories that Heather Ash shares. So again, it's a very practical book. There's a lot of journaling exercises and reflection activities in here. And what it does is it helps you to uncover your own truth. It forces you to kind of examine who you are, what it is that you stand for, and what are those limitations and conditionings that are causing you to not step into your fullest authentic self. So this is a very good book if you are struggling with things like perfectionism, if you're struggling with doing the things that you think is expected of you. If you are a people pleaser, then it will bash through some of those limitations and the beliefs that keep these behaviors in place. So I can definitely recommend this book. The next book is The Mysteries of the Dark Moon, and it's by Demetra George. And if you are drawn to working with dark goddess energy, if you are drawn to working with a dark goddess, then this is a very good book. I haven't finished with this book. I'm still working through it. It's not an easy read. And in this book, she examines the myths of the dark goddesses and what they teach us, how we can apply that into our lives and get through the challenges that we're facing every day. So there are a lot of journal questions in here, and they're very deep, they're very demanding when you do them. And I think a lot of times it's because we often live in denial. We have been conditioned by positive thinking and love and light to not really honor our deeper emotions and honor our darker emotions. And when we feel these, we deflect and we think, okay, I need to think something positive in its place, otherwise I'm going to attract negative things into my life. And the disservice that we do to ourselves is that we don't really allow us to go where the healing can happen. So this book will really help you to delve into those shadow parts of yourself. This whole book is an exercise in shadow work, and it's very, very powerful. But as I said, it's not an easy read. Now, technically, this next book isn't a spiritual book. It's called In the Flow by Elisa Vitti, and this is an incredibly powerful book. So we all run our lives on a 24-hour clock. That's the way that the world works. And often we expect our energy and our emotions to be the same every day, 365 days of the year. And we make ourselves wrong when that doesn't happen. So what this book does is it really examines from a scientific perspective how our energy and our moods get affected by where we are in our cycle. It teaches you how you can align your daily tasks and your activities and really plan your life around where you are in your cycle, because the 4 different phases all have different power levels. And once you begin to understand that, you really empower yourself to live your life in a way where you are aligned with your own truth, where you're really honoring your own energy levels. And I think what it also does is it teaches you to move away from the idea of shame or annoyance or irritation with the fact that we have a monthly cycle. And rather than seeing it as a weakness or a limitation, it shows you really how to harness the power of that. So that's a very good book if you want to have more of a scientific insight into how to work with your energy during the cycles. There's also it's very practical because there are recipes in here and some suggestions as to activities, exercises, and just a general way of lifestyle depending on where you are. All right, the last book that I have for you is for those of you that are new to Goddess spirituality and you want to learn more about it. So this book is called Goddess Wisdom Made Easy, and it really is a very easy book to read, all right? So don't expect too much depth when you go in here. What I liked about this book is that it was, for me, certainly a very good starting point to begin to understand all of the terms and all of the concepts and all of the practices that exists in feminine spirituality if you look at it from a goddess energy perspective, or if you start working with the goddess archetypes. I particularly liked the information around working with the goddesses and the chakras. Each goddess archetype is aligned with a certain chakra, and also there's information in here about Tantra, about red moon ceremonies, about awakening Shakti, and also about the lunar phases. Those are all things that are important concepts when you start walking this path. And then once you've read this book, it will give you an idea as you're going through the reflections. Again, there are many reflections in here. As you go through that, it will give you an idea of what calls to your soul, what do you want to explore a little bit more of. So a good starting point if you're new to the path of feminine spirituality. So those then are my 5 books. The tip that I want to leave you with when it comes to these books, and I say 5, I have more, but these are the 5 that I decided to do first. If you want me to do more book reviews, then just let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to do that. So the tip that I want to leave you with, and that's what I said in the beginning of the video, when we walk the path of the sacred feminine, the divine feminine, it's important to understand that it is a way of being. It's embodying this archetypical energy. And when you're simply reading the books to fill your head knowledge, it's not going to have such an impact in your life. It really is, it comes down to reading the books and doing the practices, really applying that into your life. I know from my own experience, sometimes it's hard to sit down and go there, but the return that you get when you actually allow yourself to go so deep, it is so transformative and it is so life-changing. So that's my tip for you then, is do the work. Also, if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about these books? How did they help you in your life? If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and also share it with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't yet joined our community. I'd really love to have you on board. Remember to fill in the application form if you want to join our program that starts in October, Elevate, Embodying Your Authentic Self. I'd love to have you along for the ride. And until next week, thank you so much for watching, and I love you. Bye.